That's the good news. Dad found good news in everything. Waiting forever for the fivesome in front, but on a gorgeous day, that's the good news. Just enough room for pumpkin pie after a huge Thanksgiving dinner, that's the good news. Friends and family gathered together for any reason, that's the good news. Raymond Ward King was born near Ojai, California on November 24th, 1930, to Brian and Rose King. Among his jobs growing up was working the smudge pots in the orange groves around Ojai to protect the fruit from frost. He graduated from Nordhoff High School in 1948, where he embraced the King family passion for tennis. In 1952, he graduated from the University of California at Santa Barbara, where he met his sweetheart, Marion March. Ray and Marion married later that year, and Dad promptly went into the Army. In fact, their wedding date had to be moved up a week at the last minute to accommodate the very eager draft board. They only saw each other on weekends for the first 9 months of their marriage, while Marion completed a year of teaching in Bakersfield, and Ray was stationed at Camp San Luis Obispo. In the pre-cell phone era, Mom would go to the station without knowing for certain if Dad would be stuck on base or actually arriving on the bus. Most times he did, and that was the good news. After completing his active duty, Ray entered the teaching field and taught graphic arts and architectural drawing at Bellflower High School in Bellflower, California. He taught there for 35 years and was a printing teacher extraordinaire. He silk-screened every ribbon for the football games, printed every school newspaper, and printed every program for every performance at the high school. The Bellflower High School Annual was dedicated to him in 1967. And later, on the occasion of his retirement, observed that he was a retiring gentleman. Indeed, he lived his life as the very definition of a gentleman. He and Marion moved to Camano Island in 2004 and have been active in the Chapelite group and the food pantry at Camano Chapel. Ray enjoyed golf, gardening, and most of all, family. In 1953, Ray and Marion started their family with Kathy, who was married to Steve Redfern. She is a teacher at Stanwood High School. In 1957, Brian was born. He is married to Jacqueline and is a professor at the University of California in San Francisco. In 1961, Brenda was born. She is married to Steve Durden and is a teacher and organist in Michigan. Dad never cut corners. If a paint job required multiple coats, he did it. Every pruned rose bush received a dab of tar to seal every cut. While kids are the stars of the movie he filmed, the manicured Dichondra ground cover was a work of art. Dichondra, of course, requires weeding by hand, because weed killer would kill it too, as would walking on it on a frosty morning, or riding your bicycle across it, as the paperboy perfected. When I got my first formal lesson in lawn mowing, Dad emphasized, "The difference is edging." That translated to going around the entire perimeter with scissors. But the lawn was always beautiful and soft and cool in the Southern California sun, and that was the good news. Ray and Marion's grandchildren were the apple of his eye. Kathy's daughter, Laura, married to Ryan Friedman, graduated from Point Loma University and is a nurse practitioner in Boston. Kathy's son Thomas graduated from UCLA and is a computer programmer, soon to be living in Berlin. Kathy's daughter Anne, married to Nathan Scott, graduated from Claremont McKenna College and is a stay-at-home mom living in Overland Park, Kansas. Kathy's son Daniel, married to Stephanie, graduated from Whitworth University and is working for a financial firm in Boston. Brian's son, Harrison, graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo with a degree in aerospace engineering and will continue there next year to complete a master's degree. Brian's daughter, Annalise, graduated from PLU with a degree in music education and will complete her student teaching next year before applying for a Fulbright. Brenda's son, Matthew, is working full-time in Texas to save money for college. Brenda's daughter, Sarah, will be attending Evergreen State College. And the good news is that there are also great-grandchildren. Laura and Ryan have 3 little boys, Emmett, Finn, and Riley. Anne's children are Bradley, Eleanor, and Patrick. Patrick shared a special bond with his great-grandpa, known as Pa. But the center of Ray's universe, the love of his life, was Marion. They enjoyed being together and spent a lot of time doing various activities together. They both golfed, they traveled, they cooked at Chapelites together, and they gardened together. They were perfect together. Ray's ultimate gardening specialty was roses. He kept a Queen Elizabeth rose from his father's rose garden and propagated and shared a plant that is growing in Brian's garden now too. Another activity Ray and Marion enjoyed was ballroom dancing. They were good, really good. will be missed by many people. His passing leaves a great hole in our lives. But we are forever grateful to God for having the privilege of having him in our lives. And in heaven, he is no doubt already working on a project list and trimming up the place. As we go about our days between now and when we see him there, let's look at the clouds and see if the edges aren't a little cleaner. At the horizon line, let's see if it isn't a little sharper. Look at the roses and see if they aren't a little prettier. There are probably lots of other things he's working on and will be excited to share with us in heaven, and that's the good news.